Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cree and today I'm coming with some advice for juniors. So let's jump right into the video. Juniors, it's a big time for y'all. So definitely junior year was hands down my busiest year, but it was not my hardest year. It was actually my favorite year of high school. So obviously 12th grade, I was at home, pandemic, online, but junior year, I had a lot of stuff to do, and I usually don't do well when I feel like overwhelmed with too much stuff to do, but I had so much stuff to do junior year, but I still had a lot of fun. Somehow it still managed to be my favorite year. So anywho, I'm not trying to say this to scare you that you'll have a lot of stuff to do, but you probably will. You might be overwhelmed at times. Try to, manage your stress as best as possible, but basically, junior year is going to be a great year, so hopefully people will get the chance to go back and experience school in person safely, but just in general, you just have to work a lot. That's all I can really say. You have to work a lot. So I'm going to jump right into my first piece of advice. All right, juniors, I'm going to ask that y'all push yourselves this year. So usually APs become available to you this year. This is when I say you need to start taking them. I've told freshmen and sophomores that they need to take advanced classes, pre-APs, honors, whatever. But juniors, this is definitely your time. You need to take these advanced courses, take these AP exams. If you're trying to go to a four-year college in the future, these exams are gonna be big, okay? Because you can get credit for this, for passing an exam with a 3 or a 4 or even a 5, which is the best. As of right now, that's the best. Some scores will go up to a 6 or 7, but on a 5-point scale, if you get a 3 or a 4, a lot of colleges will take that as a credit for that class. So say you get a 4 on your English exam, English composition, then you might not have to take English composition 1 in college. You can go straight to 2. So it kind of gets you ahead. So that's why I'm saying take some of these AP classes, these advanced classes. They do a lot for your GPA and for college in the future. So I suggest taking them. I know I'm saying they do a lot for your GPA. That could also mean they don't do well for your GPA if you're not really good in a subject. But if you're not good in science but you're great at English, take AP English, regular science. Just do what you can handle. That's what I always say, do what you can handle. And just follow what your strengths. So AP English might be a good fit for you, whereas regular science might be more down to earth and keeping it simple, because that might not be your favorite subject, and you don't have to take it over the top, okay? Unless you just want to, but try and do the best that you can. If a college sees that you didn't do so well in a class, but it was advanced, they'll at least appreciate the fact that you did push yourself to do a challenging class. Now, don't just do something that you're gonna fail when you could be doing well. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the next thing is, if you're a junior right now, start building or continue building a college list. Definitely continue doing that, or start now. Start now for sure. So you want to start researching colleges, seeing what type of GPA certain schools require, what type of SAT, ACT scores a certain school requires. This is going to be really important because junior year, you need to be taking your SAT or your ACT. So anywho, I don't know. I took the SAT junior year and senior year because they provided a free test at my school for the SAT without the essay in March of 2020. But then we had the pandemic and we didn't come back after spring break. And I was rushing to try and get my SAT score because I know a lot of schools were saying test optional, but I personally felt like my SAT score or an SAT score would add a lot to my just college portfolio and my application. So I wanted to take it, and the first time I took the SAT, I felt like I could do better. So I wanted to retake it. So I scheduled it for August, and it got canceled 3 times, and I didn't get to take it till September, which I know is only a month later, but still I was really worried because my test centers kept getting canceled. I kept having to move. So it was kind of a frantic panicking. So, because I was I have to turn in my college applications, I gotta have my score ready. So I'm doing all this senior year, and it's people could have been done with that junior year. So I could have been finished with that earlier. So that's what I'm saying to y'all. take the SAT or the ACT your junior year. By the way, something that no one told me, and I kind of had to ask people about this, and you might know already, but you don't have to take both the SAT and the ACT. You take one or the other generally, and you can take it as many times as you want. I took the SAT, and I took it, I think I took it twice. Yeah, I took it twice, and the second time I took it with the essay. And I did do better the second time, so I did take some time to study, and I was happier with my score. So take that time to study and to start practicing, and when you're building your college list, you can kind of see what scores you'll need, and that way you'll know what you should be aiming for. Like, don't just aim for it, and once you hit it, like, forget it. You're like, no, aim for it and aim a little higher so that if you don't do as well, because a lot of times, like, testing center, you get there and your nerves might not be, you know, normally as if like you're practicing at home. It's like, oh, you're feeling pressure. So just make sure you try and stay calm, but aim a little higher, because if you aim higher and your nerves do get the best of you on testing day, then it's like, okay, well, I might not do as well as I wanted to, but I still met my goal. And so ideally, you'll blow that goal out of the water, out of the park, and that's great, that's ideal, but just consider that, you know, sometimes the pressure can get to you, okay? It's real, it gets to you sometimes. So keep that in mind, start building your college list, either write it down, College Board, if your school has an account, well, your school might have an account or you might have an account with the College Board. You can add schools to your list and they'll tell you how likely you are to get in based on your SAT score. And so I know if you're taking the ACT, then the College Board does not have that, so you'll have to go through something else. But for the SAT, you can use College Board and it'll keep things pretty organized for you, and you can start to look at some different schools that you're interested in. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was saving for college applications, AP tests, SAT or ACT tests. Just save for that stuff. So a lot of times, if you know you're gonna have like financial issues, or you qualify for like the free lunch program at your school, then you usually will qualify for application fee waivers. Now, these are gonna be so important if you know you qualify for them. Apply. Okay, there's no reason that you should go around paying full price if you don't have to. Now, if you know you're not going to qualify, or you don't think you're going to qualify, then start saving for those applications, particularly if you have financial issues. Just make sure you're saving for those applications, saving for those tests. They can be expensive. AP tests, I think mine was like $95. And I mean, right off the bat, you already know, like, that's expensive. That costs money. And so when you're taking like 3 or 4 AP classes, that adds up quickly. That's like $400 right there. Now, of course, there's no, like, you don't have to take the AP test for every class. You don't have to take it at all. So don't think I'm like, take the test. But if you can take it, I would recommend it, because if you get that credit, then you don't have to take it in college. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that before. But anywho, so just make sure you take it if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, usually they'll have fee waivers and things like that to help either reduce the price or to completely like waive the fee so you don't have to pay anything. It just depends, but they can be expensive. So if you have any of those issues, start saving for that stuff if you can, and if you can't, make sure you look out and you can get in contact with your counselor or just someone at your school that can help you to apply for these fee waivers, because they are so important. But even if you aren't going to qualify for a fee waiver, no one wants to spend $400, okay, just right off the bat. Now, of course, if you're taking like one AP, it's like $95, so, you know, not every test is going to be like $400, but still, no one wants to pay out of pocket like $95. Like, I don't want to spend that on a test. Like, I'm just spending my money to stress myself out. That's how I see it, at least. But no, you're spending it because it's going to help you in the future and help prepare you for the future. But no one wants to spend money on that, right? So still, just keep that in mind. Start saving for some of those things. You know, just putting $5 or so away a week can really add up and can really help when the time time comes to pay for these tests and to pay for these college applications. It makes a big difference. So just keep in mind that unfortunately we don't live in a utopian society where everything is free and everyone gets free education for nothing. I wish we did, but just keep that in mind. Make sure you either have enough money or you know how much money it's going to cost to apply to some of these schools and to take some of these standardized tests. All right, and the last thing I have to say, the last piece of advice I have to mention is to practice for the SAT and the ACT like every week. Every week. Did you hear me? I said every week. So practice every week. I'm talking real practice, okay, real practice. Now, I took the SAT. I took the SAT that my school provided, and there was no essay on that one, and so I wanted to retake it later, and so I took this when I was a junior. Now, when I was a senior, I wanted to take it again, but of course by this time I was doing college applications, so the earlier you do it, the better. But I kind of started practicing for my SAT. I took it in September, about 2 months before. It was time to like really take the test, and I'm talking real practice. Now I was like 2 to 3 hours, possibly even more on some days. Whenever I had free time, I was reviewing, I was reading, I was doing math, I was working it, I was doing it all, okay? I bought books, I was on Khan Academy, you saw me on my little computer typing away, okay? I was gone, I was done, I was working hard for 2 months. Now, I probably would not have had to work as hard if I had started working earlier. Now, not to say that you shouldn't like push yourself and you know, put in a couple more hours if you have the time, but you know, if you started the beginning of junior year and every weekend you say I'm gonna practice for 2 hours, you know, that is gonna make a huge difference, because when you start studying earlier, chances are, well, first of all, you're gonna have more time to get to the test and work on things that you don't know, but you're also more likely to remember some of the stuff that might just fly out of your head if you're just working on it like the night before. So when you take a few weeks and you build up, you can build on these concepts and learn better. Now, if you can afford it, and if you know someone or if you know somewhere, you can get an SAT tutor that's gonna help you and work with you. Because I know I probably could have benefited from someone working with me, because just reading out of a book, you get distracted. It's just not entertaining. Not to say that studying with someone else is like entertaining. I mean, you're still working on standardized testing, but it's just better when someone is there to see where you struggle and help you with that. So if you can do that, then that's great. If you can't, it doesn't matter, because I improved my score by 50 points by studying by myself 2 months before. So imagine what you could do if you're studying 8 months before you actually take the test, okay? It's gonna do wonders for you. So that's why I say studying on your own, even if it's not necessarily your forte, for me, it's just not, not my thing, but I still was able to improve my score. So I feel like anyone who studies can do it. You can improve your score, you just have to work at it. And for the last bit of this video, I'm just gonna talk about kind of my experience with junior year. I mentioned before that it was my favorite year. I was doing 5 clubs, and I was an officer in 1 club. I had 2 AP classes, and I was just really busy, okay? And as I said, I usually don't like to be really busy, but I don't know, the clubs I was doing, I'm not even gonna say, I wasn't even a big fan of clubs in high school as a whole. I really didn't enjoy it. I went to the meetings every week, and then when I became an officer, I was like, this is gonna be great for my resume, and I'm gonna get to learn about the career I'm interested in. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all, okay? And I don't think it's because I was an officer. I think it's just I realized that the career that I was interested in wasn't for me, or at least whatever aspect that I was doing for the club, okay? And that's okay. So anywho, I definitely enjoyed my junior year, even though there were some stressful times, but I honestly feel like my sophomore year was more stressful, even though I had less stuff to do. So I think it varies from person to person. You just have to kind of find what you enjoy and what you like to do, and as you get to know yourself better, it's gonna help you in the future. Because doing that club where I really didn't enjoy being an officer and managing the finance and stuff, just because I found out it wasn't for me, that helped me to know, okay, if you didn't enjoy this, then how are you gonna like doing this for life, for a career? Don't go to college and study this if this is not your interest. So that's kind of, it still helps even when you don't enjoy something. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Juniors, I hope you enjoyed, and seniors, you're next.